Greetings, beloved. What should I say, beloveds? Plural. Good to have you again. I'm here and I'm enjoying this new environment that we are creating for you. And I know you will be wondering, wow, maybe I should be there too, basking in the sun, enjoying the sea breeze, and learning how to just have leisure, just learning to do nothing, but yet something. Nevertheless, I trust that you are really learning to have less anxiety or learning to overcome anxiety about your children's future and what is represented within the school environment. I'm thinking today that I wanted to continue from what we did last broadcast, talking about the young adult, the adolescent, 13 to 17, then it goes to 19, and how they are learning to find that ego identity as against alienation or against rejection, or against what we call in Erickson will call diffusion. It's the whole issue of wanting to belong and wanting to identify with where I'm going and how I'm going. It's important for your child, but it's also important for you to chart it, not to over, but it's for you to be assured of how you are bringing them into that unknown future. You yourself had your challenges as when you were a young age, learning and coming to love and coming to marriage and coming into parenting. How do we work that to really enjoy the fruit that we call children? And how do we establish their future? One of the things that is important for us to realize that all that we are looking at here is that from childhood to now, there's one word that we haven't used yet that I want to introduce today is conflict. But there's been a constant reality of conflict from the word knowing. So the child's always been trying to do things and been told not to do, or told you're not right, you're wrong. As I said earlier, we are looking at the three spheres of education: the kindergarten, the primary, the secondary, and there's a lot of conflict there. But we don't call it conflict. I don't think we even use a word to describe it. We just think it's bad behavior, or good behavior, or indifference, or non-compliance, or compliance. But it's actually conflict. And we can use another word called trauma. There's a lot of childhood trauma experienced between 3 and 12. And of course, maybe as I said, 3 and 19, when you're about to leave secondary school to go into tertiary or the world of work. So there's a lot of trauma going on there. The trauma of leaving home at 3, 2.5 to 3, going down to space, screaming some of us, being silent some of us, being poked at, bullied, and yet being silent, not telling our parents. In primary school, the same thing, another state of trauma. Now I used to be bright, but then all of a sudden somebody's brighter than me. I used to come in first in the test, now I'm coming third, and I'm not getting the kind of marks, and my parents are upset, and I'm being told all kinds of negative things. By the way, I'm being bullied, they take my lunch. Trauma. And then I have to sit this exam in my between 11 and 12 years of age, and I'm psychologically prepared. That's not English, you say. I'm not psychologically prepared. Just say, not psychologically prepared for this exam that in some countries lasts for 3 years. For some of us, it's just 1 day. But it's all about preparation for these examinations that are pushing you from primary into secondary school. And you are getting traumatized by going through all the rigors every week, extra lessons on Saturday and Sunday, and wow, it's so much. Children are not able to enjoy their holidays and their Christmas or their, even their August holidays. There's what we call summer holidays because they have to go to lessons because common entrance or SEA or PEP, whatever you call it, it is coming up next year. And so you do not realize that your children are traumatized. They would like to stay home and run, climb up a guava tree, climb the mango tree, and get some fun. Go to the beach, go and visit family, friends. But no, you have to study. By the time you get to secondary school, wow, the real trauma begins because you have to get money, young adult age and adult age. So what you must do well, what you're going to become, what you're going to do. And so we continually press our children into traumatic situations, not realizing it. But they are very much into it. They're very much into that kind of trauma. Some people are not speaking, there's a silence. Because I don't want mommy to ball at me and some of us don't want mommy to say, I'm a weakling or I'm a sissy. But I'm really struggling to live within these institutions called educational institutions called schools. It's important to work that out. It's important to realize how we are looking at this, how we are establishing what's happening with us. How do we prevent our children from that type of future? Because once they're traumatized between 3 and 19 and have not emotionally dealt with it, or they've not had therapy or counseling, it's going to affect them in their adult life, right through maybe young adult life, old adult life, but adult life. How do you prevent that? And that is what I wanted, and I am addressing here with these podcasts. Because I want us to see how we can really eliminate the school violence and the bullying, and would therefore eliminate the violence and crime in the adult life. So let's see how we can work this together. What it is I must tell my child. I must sit my child down and we must talk about the conflict. Let them know that you're aware that there has been trauma. How did the teacher speak to you? What was your expectation when you were being spoken to? How did you feel? What was your emotion? Did you cry? Did you not cry? When you came home, is that why you were having tantrums home and throwing things because you couldn't do the school, but you went home and I then flogged you because you were rude and you were attacking your siblings? Please tell me. So parents, let yourself be open to your children. Let them know that you want to hear them. You want to maybe go to a therapist, a psychologist, a counselor, to bring them to learn how to overcome. Because if they don't, once there's a trigger of some kind that reflects the past issues of their lives, that can be violent. That can be very obnoxious. That can lead to unfortunate circumstances. So it is important for us to recapture this. I want you to also talk to them about the influences that they've had from the children's schools, who seem to have a louder voice than you as parents. We need to hear why that voice is louder. What is in that voice that they are attracted to that makes them feel that they're more important? Maybe it makes them feel accepted. Makes them feel that their ideas are brand and we can do it secretly. Let's talk about those things. What is in that heart of yours that is continually pumping and pulsing all kinds of negative and positive emotions? So we need to sit down and find out what are these influences and how are other people's lives overpowering those that you yourself would have crafted or didn't craft. So you see, again, it's important to understand what is in their minds as how it relates in reflection to what's happening around them. So this child may have more money to spend at the cafeteria. I have less. This child may have less and I have more. Do I share? Can I share? But mommy want me to share, but daddy want me to share. But I want to share, but can you empower your child to share? Can you empower your child to support some child who doesn't have lunch or doesn't have a book? Rather to show that you have all the books and they have none. And then that child will come and say, well, dear parents, they can't afford. And that, of course, creates a negative emotion. And that child feels belittled and begins to withdraw. So we have a child, they're traumatized because they can't find money, their parents can't find money to get the books. But yours can. Your dress code, the kind of shoes you wear. Not standardized, of course, but everybody have different models and shapes and brands. And then the brands, of course, terrorize you because you have a Jordan, this one have a bullet, a batter bullet. How do I feel when you strut it in your shape? But these batter bullets now have a new name, they have a new name. So that you know it's not going to be as difficult as it seemed to have been. So you want to be able to talk to your children and let them know that these differences does not make them less than. These differences does not make them less children and less intelligent. We have to learn how to capture what is. We have to learn how to capture the heart of your child. Let's continue a little bit about the differences. How do you work out the fact that your child would have come into school, where maybe a school where you wanted the child to be at the first level? The child always came first in tests. But remember now, there are 105 students and 35 in one class maybe in our country. That's all was getting ones and being first in class. So you have let's take one class, 35 children who are accustomed getting high marks and getting first place in tests. You have to compete with the same level. So that when the results come out at the end of the first semester, first term, your child may come 10th or 12th or 20 something. And you're sad because the child didn't come first, but look at the mark. They might have the same grade as the person who came first. They might have the same grade as the person who came 10th. It's not about the placing of the child. First, second, third, fourth, last. It's about the capacity of the child. It's about the child learning and the child understanding and accepting their level of participation and how they can make that viable and real within their own heart and within their own self. You want to develop that assurance within that child. You want to develop a capacity for growth. And I want to help you here. And let's go a little further. Again, we talk about favoritism and how this teacher responds to me and how I respond to teacher. Differently to how I respond to my parents. And we need to see that also in terms of how we are setting that relationship plateau, or the relationship as icon or relationship value. What do you say? In my years, we used to carry flowers for our female teachers. I'm sorry, the male teachers never got anything. But I know that there was some kind of cause in our heart to show that type of honor. So whether it's male or female, can you teach your child to honor the difference in that comes out in that teacher? Because that teacher will not be the same as you parents. They don't have the same values, they won't have the same thoughts, the same cultures, the same morals, because they have grown up in a different space. But there are still people who have given themselves to look off, to nurture, and to look after your kids for 7 hours in a day. So we need to see how your child is working along with this teacher. We need to see how your child is learning how to identify that the teacher is not coming against them. The teacher don't like me. I put up my hand. She don't look at me. Hold on, there are 35 of you in the class, plus or less. You're not the only one. How do you teach your children not to feel slighted or left back or rejected when there's so many other faces to be engaged? There's a need for you, I hope you're recognizing, for you to sit down with, not just before the child enters that new school, but as you go through the years, 2, 3 times within 1 year, maybe each year, so that the child continues to find a way of acclimatizing to the changes that come from first form to second to third to fourth to fourth, from standard to second to there's always changes because there are different teachers. There are different styles of teaching. There's different styles of learning. And therefore teachers may not even identify with the learning style of your child and therefore not accommodating the learning experience of your child, and the child gets lost. So from 1st to 10th to 10th to 20, because the child is lost. And the child is agonized. Mommy going to beat me, daddy not going to. And of course you promise if you come first, you get a trip. No trip, no bicycle. Trauma. You know, your child's going to be 20 one day. Your child's going to be 30 one day. Your child's going to be 40 one day. Have you ever sat down and wondered what your child will be at those ages? It's something I work with all the time as a parent. Looking at my child 10 years beyond, it was a practice. I always challenge them. Whenever they set themselves, they say, okay, what about next year? I want to see continuity. I want to get you to a point where you think, hey, it's not about today. Because that idea can come today and go. But what about tomorrow? How do I see you? Where do I see you? Huh? Did you answer me? Did I have an answer? Oh, I thought you would answer me. I wish I could hear your answer. What about those things? So we really have to take the grasp of parenting styles and how we are not going to be just budgeting, beating and dictating, but be able to be guiding and working through and supporting. Are you following me? You are you? I trust. So I want us to give this to you again a little more about the child in terms of interpreting what is happening with that child and how that child is working for his own self without help, but yet holding their hands, trying not to be captured into a gang or a loyalty group or a group that accepts me as the way I am and without values. I want to be able to find a freedom, like how I feel in this brain. To know, yes, I'm loved. Yes, I'm cherished. Yes, I'm not victimized by students, teachers, staff, or parents. But I am accepted to grow in a psychosocial context because home is where that is. And that broadens into the institutions of learning. That helps me to capture the essence of intellectualism. And therefore I can see myself being an asset to my community, to my home, to my community, and to society. I want us to really engage in those concepts and those precepts to bring out those ideals that are real for tomorrow's child. Let me reiterate. These sessions are here to help you overcome the fear that you have that your child sits next to a violent person, a bully, somebody who is demeaned and not of the same status as you. Did I say it right? Or should I say status? But status sounds nice too. The person who may not influence your child rightfully. Hey, if somebody's influencing your child, let your child learn how to keep the values of the house and not exchange them for something lower in your mind or for something different that does not fit the household they represent. I'm encouraging you to sit again, chat. Bring values, yes, to the fore and show how to maintain that in the sphere of confusion and conflict at the school premises. Oh, remember, the adults are different also. They're not parents, so you have to teach them how to hear adults differently, how to hear principles differently, and to work harmoniously with the people around you to be a successful citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados, America, France, wherever you live, successfully. What can I say? Be encouraged. Be a good share. It work, but love the idea. Take hold of it, because our children's future is in your nurturing as parents. Don't feel guilty about what they don't know. Be alive and loving to what they can know through your instructions. God bless you and have a good day. Have a good week. Au revoir.